As a member of the 76ers, James Harden has leaned way more into the playmaking aspects of his game, as opposed to the dominant scoring outbursts he had in Houston. This season, he led the NBA in assists per game, while teammate Joel Embiid led in scoring. But with Joel out for Game 1 due to injury, on the road in Boston, they needed Harden to tap into his own self-creation. And boy did he deliver. Many people doubted that he still had what it takes to pour it on as a scorer, but this isn't anything out of the ordinary. Since joining Philly, he's played just over 2,000 total minutes next to Embiid, and in that time, he's recorded about 19 points and 11 assists every 75 possessions, on over 60% true shooting, while their team's offense has been nothing short of historic. But in 841 minutes without Embiid, Harden sees a massive jump to his scoring, about 28 points and 10 assists on similar efficiency. And although the team's offense isn't quite as good, it's still a really healthy mark without their leading scorer, showing that he's still capable of taking on that larger offensive load and producing. Unlike the Harden of old though, he started this one going to the mid-range, which has been a point of emphasis in adjusting his game to counter a decline in athleticism. From 2017 to 2020, a 4-year stretch that many consider to be his peak, 2-point field goals from outside of 10 feet accounted for about 8% of his overall shot attempts, and this season that number has almost doubled to 15%. Against a defense like Boston that's looking to clog driving lanes as much as possible and primarily playing the pick and roll in a deep drop, access to these looks will almost always be there. He gets Marcus Smart on his backside and patiently keeps his dribble into the lane where Horford's sole focus is protecting that rim. So when Smart recovers to get in front, Harden counters with a spin that gives him space to step into a jumper. Brogdon's going to chase James over a screen, with Rob Will back in that drop, giving him room to once again get to that elbow where he uses his shoulder to initiate contact and create more separation while stepping back. Because of how Boston's playing these ball screens, when Harden uses it, he's left with multiple feet of space, making it way too easy to get into that patented step back jumper, with some good luck on the bounce. Another thing that deep drop coverage does is allows ball handlers to step into pull-up threes, even though Tatum looks to fight over and uses his length to get a great contest. That's a shot Harden is going to take and make consistently. Smart motions for Horford to take the right side of a screen while he covers the left, and while sitting at the elbow could help turn away a drive, that one dribble pull-up is too lethal. This time he gets it on a handoff, and Brown does a great job of staying attached the whole way, so Tucker flips the screen for a second use, and now there's nobody in position to contest. Even when it feels like these looks are cut off, he's just so good at generating space. Smart phases through a screen like it doesn't even exist, and Horford's right there to take away a lane to the basket. And Harden counters by using his off arm to throw Smart off his spot before stepping back into a real high quality look from deep. This screen comes real early, all the way out at half court, and allows Harden to build up some speed going downhill. But with Smart, Horford, and White all in pretty solid position, he just shifts his momentum with another one of those step backs for a 3-point shot that really should have been a 4-point play. That ability to create space so effortlessly makes him just as much of, if not more of a threat in isolation. Horford finally comes up to meet him with a switch, and this is where he's at his best, sizing up to keep him guessing and set up what else but a step back triple. Despite not having quite the same first step he did in Houston, he still changes speeds at an incredible level, throwing that same size up straight into a crossover to just leave his man in the dust, with nobody in position to take away a layup. He makes isolation defenders pick their poison between a drive or step back three, patiently pounding the air out of the ball as he reads their every movement, waiting for Grant Williams to step forward so he can attack the top foot and touch the paint. But because Rob Will is waiting under the basket, he instead goes to a soft touch floater. Here's the exact same thing once more, except this time as he looks to drive, Williams does a great job of sliding his feet to close off the lane, which is where Harden's comfortable dropping the shoulder and stepping back into a fall-away mid-range jumper. It's his large frame and strength that makes these sort of things possible, turning his back to the basket against a very sturdy Marcus Smart and going straight into his chest as he finishes through the added contact. And that ability to just get into the heart of the defense whenever he wants draws added attention, creating a real long closeout for Tyrese Maxey to put it down and attack, all the way to the cup for a finish plus the foul. This time they're back to that high ball screen, and Horford's playing the right side, so Harden instead drives left, forcing a sort of collapse to the paint that leaves Tobias Harris all alone at the top of the key. Here it is again, snaking the pick and roll to get Brown on his backside and play in between with Horford in drop, where he plays with pace to apply pressure in the paint before leaving it for Paul Reed, who has a good angle to put it up and in. The Celtics had to prevent James from touching the paint, so as he comes off a screen, there's a miscommunication that leaves both Brown and Brogdon near the nail as immediate help, while Rob Williams is already roaming off the corner to protect the rim, leaving DeAnthony Melton relatively open on the perimeter for a spot-up three. A few times they even sent a trap to get the ball out of his hands, but he's just too good of a decision maker to not take advantage, staring at McDaniels down low to keep Brown attached before moving it to Niang on the wing for a super high percentage look. Smart jumps out near half court to meet him with a trap, and Melton does a great job of making himself available by flashing to the middle. Harden stares down the corner to move Horford just enough to create a slight gap to sneak it in, where a basic extra pass leads to a warm-up jumper. Harden matched a playoff career high in this game with his 45 points on an extremely efficient 70.8% true shooting, which included a game-winning bucket to steal a 1-0 series lead on the road. The 76ers had a near 134 offensive rating in his minutes, just completely obliterating that Celtics defense in a multitude of ways, all spearheaded by Harden's ability to create and score from all three levels, and how that pressure allowed him to capitalize as a playmaker, showing that despite some regression, he remains one of the NBA's very best offensive players. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and turn my post notifications on to be first on more content. If you're interested in my more in-depth research, make sure to check out my website and social media profiles. You can find those links in the description. Feel free to let me know down in the comments what you thought of this game and what your predictions for the rest of the series are. As always, I hope you all have a great day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.